Okay, this is my first time going live from my home office. Here I am, my first time going live from my home office. Let's give people just a few seconds to log on in. But today I'm going to talk about happy birthday to Stephen Sondheim. Now, Stephen Sondheim is a phenomenal Broadway lyricist and composer, probably best known for shows like Into the Woods and Sweeney Todd, A Little Night Music. Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum, and being the lyricist for the West Side Story. So many beautiful shows that he's created and that we all know. One of my favorites that only lasted, I think, 7 days on Broadway with Angela Lansbury was Anyone Can Whistle. He also created a lot of music for other shows as well, created music for a Pfeiffer's Jules Pfeiffer play and music for television shows that and Frogs, for example. But I've been a big Sondheim fan ever since I was in Into the Woods in college. So I promised that for my Patreons first, and I want to thank all of my Patreons at patreon.com/Paul Draper, including my partner Patreons and my royal Patreons coming on and supporting on there. I currently have 20. We are still in the early stages, just started it 3 days ago. But thank you all for joining. It really is making a huge difference in my life and allows me to share stories like this. So the first time I met with Stephen Sondheim, I said to him, "So I'm a magician." And he said, "Oh, I love magic. When I was young and I couldn't afford tickets, I used to sneak into magic shows to watch them." There's a little hint. And he said that he loved Ricky Jay, a magician, and who David Mamet worked with and wrote his scripts. And he said that I reminded him a bit of Ricky Jay. I've had others say that. I met him on 3 occasions. That's for another day, though. Today, I asked Stephen Sondheim, I said, "What advice do you have for a magician? What advice do you have for an aspiring entertainer writing a one-person show? What piece of wisdom can you give me about how to be a better writer? You've created some of the best shows ever written on Broadway. I'd like your advice." And he thought for a moment and he said, "Do what your junior high English teacher told you to do." What do you mean? And he said, "Say what you're going to say it, and then say what you said." All right. So, can you give me an example of somewhere in one of your shows where you did this? And he said, one of my earliest shows was West Side Story. One of his early big successes was West Side Story as the lyricist. And West Side Story originally, of course, was going to be called East Side Story and be about a Jewish boy and a Catholic girl. But they decided that that was too controversial at the time. So instead, they went with West Side Story about a white boy and a Puerto Rican girl. But that's again a little bit further. But I said, so where did you do this in one of your shows? And he said, West Side Story. First, Tony says, "Tonight, tonight, I'll meet my love tonight. Tonight there will be no morning star." And then he goes and he meets Maria. And after he meets Maria, he sings, "Maria, I just met a girl named Maria." Suddenly, my head exploded. I'm going to meet my love tonight. He met her. I just met a girl named Maria. So, just there, what our English teacher had told us all those years ago, Sondheim was actively using in his shows constantly, song after song after song. And from that point forward, whenever I saw his shows, I saw that he was doing that. And this helps us not only in our one person shows, in our stories, in our radio dramas, in our presentations to companies, also in our interviews and any human interaction where we are telling a story to others. Say what you're going to say it, say what you said. It's the magic of threes, direct from Stephen Sondheim to me, to you, on his 90th birthday. Happy birthday, Stephen Sondheim, and let's all go listen to some of his shows. Have a wonderful rest of the night, everyone, and thanks for watching. Remember to click like and join me on Patreon at patreon.com/Paul Draper.